Yeah,
Thank you, Nipun.
yeah. So I welcome you again, Ashish and Deepika. And as we have set the context that we'll have first few minutes by each panelist, and then we'll leave the floor open for our audience to ask live questions. There were many who has asked questions on the survey forms. We will be catering to those questions also, and we'll be discussing on those things. In middle, if there is anything to any audience who would like to ask anything to the trainer, I request you to use the chat option or the use the reaction option in this Zoom application. So I would like to invite Ashish to start with uh, with the topic, and please take up the course from here, Ashish.
Thank you so much, Nipun, and good afternoon, dear friends. Such a pleasant way to see all of you in an August gathering of people from all walks of life, especially the HR community. It gives me great pleasure, great privilege, and great pride to be addressing you all. Although the mantle of some dark cloud in the form of this bad news about Sushant Singh Rajput that we received today uh, does hang upon us, and it could not have come at a more inopportune time than today, wherein we have gathered to discuss a topic of burning importance, that is mental health. But nevertheless, it only underlines the importance of what we are going to discuss for the next couple of minutes. It also gives us an opportunity to underline, to refocus, probably sympathize and empathize with people who suffer from this kind of malady, for whom there is no other way out, who need our support. And sometimes we, in a case of role reversal, need support from our peers, our friends in the same, when we sail in the same boat. So, I see lot many faces who are familiar to me, my friends. I also see some new faces, and I'm quite excited at bringing this topic to you. And I would like to begin today's session by first of all thanking Nipun for having thought about this. As he said, I've been fortunate to know him as a person for quite some time. We have developed an understanding, and the more I spend time with him, the more I get to admire the kind of person, the kind of human being that he is, and the kind of passion he has towards helping people, and especially this topic of mental health and wellness, which is very very close to his heart. And I believe that in his current organization, he's also devoting human service in addressing this issue. So, to start with, dear friends, this concept of mental health, or health for that matter, is nothing new. It has been in existence in the Indian context since times immemorial. As a matter of fact, if you go by our Yajurveda, you see, in which the outlines of Ayurveda are enshrined, they speak of health in terms of a shloka. And that shloka goes off like this: Sam dosha, sam agnishcha, sam dhatu malah kriya. I'll explain what that all means. Sam dosha, sam agnishcha, sam dhatu malah kriya, prasanna atma indriya manah swasthya idhapya dhyate. What does this mean? Sam stands for balance. Sam dosha, Ayurveda talks about the three doshas: the Vat, the Pit, the Kapha. These three doshas are there in our body, and till the time they are in perfect harmony, perfect balance, health reigns supreme. The moment one of these three elements goes out of sync, there is disease per se. But Ayurveda doesn't talk merely of the balance of the three doshas, but also goes off to the extent of saying, apart from these three doshas, sama dosha, sama agnishcha, the three fires, digestive fires. Digestive fires stands for metabolism, assimilation, and of course digestion. These have to be in sync. These have to be in a balanced condition. Sam dhatu, the physical body, has to be in balance. Mala kriya, mala stands for the excretion. You know, when the excretory functions are regulated, are in balance, the physiological functions of urination and defecation. Prasanna, happy state of what? The Atma, the Indriya, and the mind. Manas, swastha itab vidhiyate. This is the condition of health. So, Ayurveda, our rich Indian tradition, has always underlined the importance of a balanced state of mind to retain what is known as the condition of happiness or the condition of well-being. If you go to the literature of homeopathy, which is, according to the reports, the number two most preferred therapy mode of treatment the world over. They have another very aligned, very interesting kind of thing, concept about health, and they talk about the healthy. When they describe healthy condition, they describe in terms of the in the healthy condition of man, the spiritual vital force, the dynamis that animates the human body. Dynamis that animates a human body rules in full sway, so that the body which it animates is free, and so that the mind that it has been given is focused towards the higher aspects. What those higher aspects can be: the higher aspects of bliss, of happiness again. So they are aligned in their speaking the same thing in different languages. You talk about WHO when talking in terms of the conventional system of medicine, the agency called WHO. It defines health as a state of physical, mental, social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. So, whichever way you look at it, health has been always defined as a condition of balance. We work in a very socially networked community. So, the social determinations of health also, they have a very important influence in the modern times. Now, in this scenario, what does mental health entail? What does mental health stand for? How do we define mental health? Mental health, as per the definition, is the cognitive, emotional, and the social well-being. So, what we have been talking in terms of balanced state in our literature of the past, medical sciences or medical schools of thought that have been existent, now the same thing has been given a new term, and that is the kind of that is the term of wellness. We are talking in terms of wellness. The balanced state results in the state of wellness. So, you see, it is not absence of disease. It is not absence of any information. It is it is the presence of a balanced state of mind which makes us exist in a happy state of mind, in a state of wellness. That is the essence of health. And when that health applies to mind, that is the essence of mental health. So, mental health is a state in which there is a balanced state of mind. Now, state of balance doesn't mean that it is devoid or something is lacking. Like, for example, you talk about a balanced state between day and night. That is the time of dawn or dusk. The time of dawn, when the night has gone away and the day is about to break. That fusion, that junction, whether it is neither day nor night, you see, that junction is the junction of balance. Same case when the day ends and night starts, the time of dusk. It is neither day nor the night. It is the time of fusion, of junction. That is the time when there is perfect balance between light and darkness. So when we talk about mental health, we are talking in terms of balance. It doesn't mean that I don't get negative thoughts. No, it only means that my mental condition is perfectly balanced between the negative thoughts and the positive thought, because both of them are functions of my mind. So if I'm able to retain this, I am able to retain this balanced state. And when I work in terms while having this kind of balanced state, I bring productivity, I bring efficiency, I add value to the work that I do, and I have what is known as a balanced existence. That is what the concept of health is. Now, having said this, how does the working of mind happen, and how does the this balanced state of mind, come forth? And we have been going through a lot many questions which we have been receiving. uh, all those questions, they somehow circulate and circumambulate, and they churn around this central theme, that how do we attain balance of mind, how do we regulate our mind. Now, if I ask you, what is actually mind, or how does mind function? So think of mind as a, what shall I say, as a stage. You all have witnessed stage theaters, right? And on the stage there are different actors, and every actor has a role to play, has a character to play. They have a certain set of dialogues, they have certain actions, they come, they play, they do their act, and there are people in the audience who watch that play. So the actors which come to play their role on the stage, if mind is a stage, then the actors are the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, and the actions. Their interplay makes this act possible. And where they manifest this play is the stage. And who's the audience? The audience is the people around us who witness what these actors act. And like there is a stage, there is an audience which witnesses what is happening on the stage, there is also a backstage, which is where our internal world comes in. What happens at the background, where the people are not able to see, but which we as individual, as person behind the stage, is that background process is not only visible, but we can also influence. And sometimes, if you have been a part of any play, you would know that there are instructions coming from the backstage so that the people modify their actions who are there on the stage. And this is as close a corollary as I can think of in explaining the mind. Now, having said this, what or who is the main component? Who or what actually, if we address, comes to address our, we are able to address the functioning or the balance of mind? And for that, dear friends, I think the the entity, the person, the component that we should be looking for, as our understanding has grown, as our researchers have grown, emotions, they happen to be the edifice, the template over which our actions are constructed. So, to achieve a balanced state of mind, it is imperative that we achieve a balanced state of emotions, that we learn how to, regulate our this surf and this tide of emotion that keeps swirling around us and keeps impacting us and keeps overwhelming us, that we are swept away in the flood of emotions, and so that our actions, instead of being balanced, come across as unbalanced. We are caught in those flurry of emotions, and we fall victims of those emotions, and that is where our tragedies, our calamities, our all sorts of problems in our life, they seem to start. So the crux is that the mental health is equivalent to balanced emotional state, and if we are able to achieve that, mental health is achieved. Nipun, do I have some time, or?
Yeah, yeah, sure. We can definitely move on. I wanted to drop in fact, thank you so much for calling out my name. I was about
Sure.
to drop in and I wanted to ask, it's a, we are here talking about mind and we're talking about regulating mind. So when you
Yeah.
talk about these turbulent scenarios in this year, or in fact, in a general scenario, let's take, there are a
Hmm.
lot of things happens, be it at family, be it at office, between friends. So there are a lot of disconnections, or I would say a lot of distraction also happens. So
Yeah.
I mean, different state, disagreeing to agree or agree to disagree, that kind of modality we talk about. So when we talk about
Indeed.
mind here, so how to calm the mind in those, frictions when you talk about?
I'd like to go through the working of mind, how we react, and how our behavior is governed. First of all, let us understand what has happened with us. About a lakh years of evolution. Okay, so we evolved from apes, we evolved from primates, from hominid apes, from Platyrini, Catarini, then we came to Homo sapiens, and that is how the evolution has been. One thing that has constantly been with us has been our emotions. One thing that has not been with us has been our culture. Culture. So, as humans, as societies, we have been existing in civilized societies in our civilization, whatever civilization we belong to, for the past what, 5,000 years, maybe, not more than that. Not more than that. So, for the past 5,000 years, we have learned to live in a civilized society, whereas the instincts that we carry have been with us for almost 1 lakh years. So, we have witnessed fear, we have witnessed anxiety, we have witnessed anger, and we have remained with these emotions for eons and eons together. Now, when situations come in front of us, the brain is not able to realize or recognize the difference because it is hardwired through generations of evolution to react. And what am sharing with you is not just something which doesn't have any basis. This is what the researchers have been trying to explain. In
That's
our
right. Yeah, yeah, sorry.
somebody's
No,
okay,
Rohit has some question. He's looking to ask that,
sure.
what practice or exercise to follow with mind to control our thoughts when surrounded with the anxiety, the fear, the restlessness. I mean, like,
I'll come to that.
very apt question, I would say, doctor. And I
Of
would say
course.
that, it's such a ignored topic. Mostly people
Yeah.
feel that if I talk to someone, people might treat me that I need some psychiatric treatment. I
Hmm.
mean, is that so untouchable if we talk about this problem, or should I not discuss this with anyone? So what's
I'll
your
try
thought
to
on this?
explain.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I shall take this up. See, understand. That is what exactly what I'm saying. So whenever we are in a situation in which we experience a surge of emotions, let's say for example this COVID-19. Okay, so everywhere you see there is this atmosphere of fear, this atmosphere of negativity, this atmosphere of threat prevalent all around us. You look at the television, which is running constantly in your house. It is only showing patients who have not survived. It is only showing hospitals. It's only showing images wherein people are kept in deplorable conditions. So, what is happening inside our brain now? There is this structure known as amygdala, which is activated. Okay, and amygdala is connected with the perception or with the experience of fear. It was given to us so that we may protect ourselves. But today, it is overruling our logic. So when I see negativity all around, I create a negative loop around me. As a matter of fact, we respond more more vehemently, more vigorously to negativities rather than to positive. Know if I understand how my brain functions, how my responses come, I shall be able to handle them in a better way. That is how you don't need any technique for that matter. You just need some kind of awareness. You understand that uh, when there is some threat situation which my brain perceives, my uh, fear and flight mechanism, my alert mechanism inside my body, it automatically responds. So I must be able to understand that the what I'm responding to is only a response of my emotional brain, that may not be the reality. That is what I'm saying. See, if you go by this COVID-19 thing also, people who are at the highest risk are belong to a very small section. And even those sections, if they take proper steps, they can be prevented from contacting this disease. Those people are people who are elderly and who have comorbidities. You practice what is the precautions, you can stay away from that. If you look at the number of deaths, the there have been afflictions on Indian society in the world around which has claimed more deaths. But because all that we see around us is only negative pictures, negative images, hence this anxiety, this fear is prevalent inside us. And that is because our brain responds to negativity a lot more than it responds to positivity. So
Yeah.
you spoke about some exercise, some techniques. We I'll tell you, our response is dependent upon how we explain the situations that are happening to us. We have a pattern of explaining situations to us. Researchers say there are three things: pervasiveness, permanence, personalization. Pervasiveness means that whatever is happening to me is affecting all aspects of my life. Permanence means whatever is happening to me will continue for the rest of my life. It will impact my life for all times to come. Personalization means that it is happening only to me. Somebody asked a question. We received this question that somebody has lost a job, has had a failed relationship, is suffering from a skin ailment, right? And the question, the theme that is coming out is why I am suffering, why I am the one. So this is a classic case how personalization happens. Idea is to remain away, remain cognizant of the fact that it is not something which is going to be there for the entirety. Train your mind to think away from this. Understand, when you develop this awareness that it is only a momentary thing that is happening with me, my response is only a momentary thing that is happening with me, it will go away because it is this adrenaline rush that I'm facing at the moment. It will, when it subsides, I shall be in a better frame of mind and you'll be there.
Okay, sure. I mean, like, yeah, that sounds little connecting to all of us. I'm sure these basics. What you're trying to convey that
Yeah,
let's understand the basic about it. Then we'll talk about the treatment. First, understand how it works, how it is connected within mind and with the surroundings I live, and then definitely once you understand, okay, this is stress. People say that I'm driving. I'm
yeah,
driving for an hour to reach my office. That's also a stress. It could be, but few people really like driving, so they'll enjoy music, they'll enjoy some phone calls with that Bluetooth device. So for them, it will not be a stress. Parallelly, again, yeah, how an individual also perceives and how it
indeed,
connects, actually, how it connects to the mind and they regulate it well. So I'm sure that's the
exactly,
connect what you're trying to highlight here. That's
indeed,
great. Yeah, that's good to
indeed.
good to know. Yeah, please.
Nipun, we've been discussing, and you understand, being exposed to the techniques of NLP as well, that we make mental movies out of information that we selectively pick from the environment. So if I selectively pick up only negative elements, all I would see would be depression around me. And if the world is really as bad as the news channels or the people around us make it out to be, then we are not going to exist. But this
More
world
than,
has
yeah,
survived.
more than people, it's about news channels, which I would definitely
Indeed,
take it up.
indeed. This world has survived two world wars and a spate of viral attacks, and we have come out of it more stronger than ever. That
Actually,
is
for
our capacity to evolve.
yeah.
Think of that. And we are still are the most dominant species on this planet. So there is nothing that will take that credential away from us.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Good to hear that and good to understand these connect. Let me come to you again and let me
Sure.
invite Deepika to come on and share her thoughts on this and the kind of queries people have asked. So Deepika, please, yeah, thank you so much.
Sure.
Over to
Hi,
you.
Nipun. Thank you for this opportunity. So, as Dr. Ashish said it well, that mental health is all about your emotional, social, and psychological stability. It is how you think, feel, and act. So, I would like to start saying something that it's not about just being happy in your life. It's okay if you don't feel good about yourself. It's okay if you want to withdraw from the world. It's okay if you have failed. It's okay to give up. But one thing I would like to say here, that mental illness is not a personal failure. So whenever you are mentally depressed and you feel sad about a situation, it is always advisable that you talk to someone. You share your thoughts, because that withdrawal from the world has reached to a high level, especially in students of 10th standard, 12th standard, because they feel so much pressurized about their about their studies, maybe the pressure that they get from their parents, the pressure they have of competition between the mothers. So it is leading to a high suicidal attempts. How we can deal with it is, you need to give that environment to your child, that your child can definitely share things with you. And the same goes with adulthood also. We all go through this phase in life, since our childhood to adulthood, that we go through some sort of depression in our life, be it related to our relationship, be it related to our career, be it related to our health. I mean, I talk about physical and mental health both. So it is very important you have specific people around you with whom you can share your things and share your heart out. So never feel that I will not need help for this particular situation, or what people would think about me. If you feel you have a friend, please share. If you feel you have a relative, please share. If you feel that you need a psychiatrist, please go ahead and do that, but don't just withdraw yourself from all the social well-being. So Dr. Ashish has really explained it really well about the entire mental health, fitness, and how do you keep yourself stable in terms of his understanding and knowledge. Now I would like to help you with few of the color therapy that plays an important part to come out of your depression and anxiety situation. So whenever you feel that you are depressed, or maybe you are in a situation where you are very angry and you feel a situation to showcase your aggressive nature, make sure that you're making use of the color yellow, orange, and avoid wearing black or gray. So whenever you think about say depression, whenever you think about anxiety and you close your eyes, the color that pops into your mind is black. So you feel that yes, black is a color of depression. So keep yourself away from it. Wear mild colors. You can even go for whites, you can go for yellow, you can go for orange. If you are struggling with your relationship, then make sure that you're wearing pink, a tinge of pink. Or maybe if you cannot wear pink, you can use a pink handkerchief, you can use a pink pen, something something of pink color that helps you to vibrate your positive vibration for a better relationship. This relationship can be with your friends, this relationship can be with your spouse, this relationship can be at your workplace also. When it comes to a depressed situation in terms of your growth, that is at your workplace, then make use of the color yellow and green. So these are the positive colors for growth. Green is considered to be the positive color for prosperity and abundance. If you will make use of this color, it will certainly help you for growth. If you have challenges that your child is unable to concentrate or focus on the study, and that is your mental that is killing your mental stability, make sure that you make use of the green curtains in the room, green bed sheets, or maybe you can place a green bamboo plant on the study table. That will really help to improve the concentration of your child. Now, if you struggle with your health, there are health issues, make sure that you're making use of the orange color or either red color. These are all very vibrant colors. So when we see orange and when we see red, we get a very positive vibe that yes, definitely we can go for this color, and it is a color of energy. It is a color of courage. So definitely using color therapy will help a lot to deal with all these disorders. So mental illness is just not a destination. It is a journey. It is an ongoing journey. And it is not where you reach. It is how you reach. So if you make implementation of all these colors, this will really help you to improve your mental stability, be it at your workplace, be it your personal situation at your home. Also, I would like to help, you call it mantras, you call it quotations. So usually we place it over our desk. हम कुछ भी place कर देते हैं, I am positive, I am rich, And but somehow we don't know the concept behind these quotations and mantras. These are positive affirmations. So at times when you place it, see, I'm a sort of person who loves money. Okay, I really love money. So I started using a positive affirmation for myself, and I wrote, I am rich. That was the affirmation I used for myself. And somehow when I started with affirmations, I felt that it is not realistic. I cannot be super rich. I am a salaried person and I will get a certain amount of salary. How is it possible? It is not practically possible. But somehow when I started reading it again and again, say multiple times in a day, I realized that yes, cash is flowing in my life. Then I was into job. I started with tarot. I started with healing, and somehow my income increased. And that's how I realized, yes, this is coming true. It's all that I need to believe in this affirmation. So just placing it somewhere and not actually implementing in your life will not help. So whenever you are using such affirmations, make sure that it is high as per your reality. It is a desired state, and you try to achieve it by believing in it. So if you're feeling low, you can write something as, I am calm, I am strong. And definitely while reading it again and again, you are preparing your subconscious mind to act accordingly and make you feel positive and believe in the universe. So affirmations and color therapy, if you implement this will really help you a lot. The other method that you can follow is definitely scripting. Yes, Nipun, you can jump in.
All right, no thanks. I mean, like that's really important points which you are sharing here. So I thought to take a small fastest finger round check with everyone. So let me just ask you things to all of our audience. No, let's use the chat button. I would appreciate if you guys can write it down. I'm going to ask a couple of questions with you. And let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Do you? So I'm going to ask you a question, and let's see how many of you react and how many of you share the answers here. So, do you use positive affirmations in your life? Yes or no? So, let me start being honest. I would say no. I don't do it daily. Whenever I need, I do it. Who else? Okay. So, yes, yes, sometimes. Okay. No. Shalini never. Okay. That's so honest. Okay. People who say, yeah, sometimes. Okay. Okay. Yes. Great, Amit. Lalit, no. Okay. Okay, Abhinandan. Glad to see you here today. Amit, no. Okay, great. Okay, so now when we have heard few things from Deepika and from Ashish as well, how many of you would like to use it daily? So I would say yes. Okay, definitely. I will. Yes, I can give it a try. Okay, so Shalini needs some more, commitments towards affirmation and some more convincing towards it. So I'm sure it should be a great thing. Not sure. Okay. Okay, so let me ask to Deepika and let me just share my feelings as well. When you talk about using affirmations, like you said, write it on your desk. So
So
I,
I'll show you an example. I
yeah,
have a specified area in my room that is dedicated to my tarot. So I'll show you. I have different affirmations. This is, as I told you, I started my conversation that I love money. So I've written lovey, like money is love. Money is coming to me easily. Money is coming to me effortlessly. I'm a money magnet, and that's helping me out. So I initially, when this COVID situation came, I was really scared because I'm staying away from home. My family is in Daman, and it was really difficult for me to handle the situation. So month on month, I wrote something that I'm manifesting a healthy life unaffected from COVID-19 in 2020.
okay,
I'm healthy, I'm fit, I'm physically stable, I'm happy and fearless. And this really helped me. Again, I'm manifesting that I'm healthy and unaffected from COVID-19 in 2020. So this is something I've written every month. And somehow I felt, yes, I became very positive about it. I would like to share a story about my promotion also. So I'm working with HDB Financial Services as a training manager. So I joined HDB in 2018, and I joined them as a training supervisor. And the the promotion tenure for them is 2.5 years, at least 2 years or 2.5 years. But somehow I was practicing this writing and scripting, and I felt that let's give it a try for my promotion. So I used to write every day that I'm promoted. I used to write in the present tense. I am promoted as a training manager in HDB Financial Services, Malviya Nagar, Jaipur. Very specific. And my year was also very specific. It was 2019. I joined in 2018. I made it very specific that I want to get promoted in 2019. So every night before sleeping, I used to write this, tear off the page next morning, and then I used to write it every night. Every night. This was a regular practice that I followed. And then when I used to go to sleep, I used to visualize the same scenario that I have entered my office. As soon as I have, opened my screen, I see that email that says, Deepika Sahani, you have been promoted from training supervisor to training manager. And the same sort of my favorite cake cutting and everything is going on. I used to visualize that thing every day, so specific that I even used to visualize the type of clothes, the perfume that I was wearing, everything. So it was under my visualization. Somehow it charged up my subconscious mind, and I am the only person in the history of 11 years that I got promoted as a trainer within 14 months in HDB Financial Services.
So do we also say that, these positive affirmations? So Dr. Ashish, even I would like to get your inputs as well here. When you talk about positive affirmations, I completely understand that there is some aura, there is some positive vibrations when we talk about, which helps us, which gives us wings and that push to do it. And please help me out if I'm wrong here, and please add up both of you in this situation. I believe that once you start thinking on such positive side, your actions also change, and that
It
actually
does.
helps. So how does those action changes? So that's my question exactly. So yeah,
You get a specific direction to move on, and
yeah, sorry.
you get a specific direction to move on, and somehow when you get that sort of direction, you get a light and you get a motivation that yes, you are moving in the right direction.
Okay.
So that helps. And usually I suggest people, whenever you are praying also, whenever you are praying to someone, कि भगवान जी मुझे ये दे दीजिए, so you become a lot desperate about the situation, कब होगा कब होगा कब होगा. But when it comes to affirmations, I always suggest people to do it at night, because when you are sleeping after this exercise, your subconscious mind becomes active and your conscious mind takes a leap over it. So आपको लगता है कि हाँ, everything positive is happening. Otherwise, if you do it during daytime and go to the office, you'll just keep thinking about the affirmation. भाई मैंने लिख दिया, सच क्यों नहीं हो रहा?
Okay,
So that's why I suggest doing it at night.
that's something. So Ashish, what's your point on this? You are mute. Let me unmute you. Yeah. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Fine. So thank you, Deepika, for that input. And affirmations have been around and got many people. And ever since the book called Secret came out, there have been a lot of emphasis on law of attraction and secret and power and so on and so forth, and creative visualization and affirmations. Let me tell you how it works. I mean, when it first started happening, for me it was difficult to believe on this. That how can this happen? How can I say that I am a money magnet and money will start flowing? My understanding, as I read, it happens like this. Not just any specific action, any action. Where does it flow from? What level does it flow from? See, before any action we take, there is a thought in our mind to accomplish that action. If I have to go somewhere, there has to be a thought pertaining to me reaching there. And how I reach, in what condition I reach, will be governed by my emotional state. So my thought creates a state inside me. In NLP, we have a beautiful explanation for that. That whatever information you take, it gets filtered through your belief system, through your language, through your representational system. It creates a image, it creates an emotional state, and that emotional state impacts the physiology and of your action. That is how it happens. Martin Seligman president of American Psychological Association and father of positive psychology, gave a beautiful explanation to it, which is based on his research, which is based on solid groundbreaking research. It says that how we explain the situations to us, how we interpret those situations to us, that determines our actions. So when I say that I am a money magnet, I am giving a strong message to my machinery inside me, my state that is being created inside me. And what is that state? That state is billions of neurons which are firing together. You know, your entire emotional circuitry in your brain, it gets activated. All that is proven now beyond the shade of doubt, that whatever we think, it impacts our emotional state, and through that the actions flow out. So let's say, as I said, that even in this COVID-19 state, the affirmation you can take is, I am healthy and I will come out of this situation wonderfully well. So when you are telling this to yourself, you are introducing a positive thought inside your emotional sphere, and that will create a positive state inside you, and you see your entire physiology will change. Because as we know that mind and body are one unified connection. Nothing can exist in isolation. The body impacts the mind impacts the body. Over to you, Nipun.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty important. So let me go back to our audience again and let me ask a few questions and let me check up on the fastest finger round here on a chat box. So, all right, when you talk about mental health, friends, do you believe that it can cause to any age people, any age group? Yes or no? Okay, great. Uh, yeah, we have seen today a 34-year young chap aspiring and most fittest guy in Bollywood took a tragic turn. So that's something which is again yes out here. And and do we also believe that can we get rid of mental health issues? Yes or no? Oh, okay. So it means that we believe that a problem exists. We also believe that there is a solution which exists. Okay, that sounds a little great here. And also if we talk about our daily diet, let me ask this very basic question: does our daily diet can help on our mental health? So does it? Okay. So most of the people are saying yes on it somehow. Okay. It's the other way around also. Okay. I'll come to you for that enlightenment. But also if we say yes, so does it mean that we are talking about junk food? Yes or no? Is it that junk food? Okay, no. All right, interesting. Okay. So it doesn't
Can I say something?
yeah, yeah, please.
Can I say something?
Yeah, yeah.
You see, there are we like junk food and we cannot stay away from it.
Within
There
three
are
months.
there
Within
would be
3 months
many
we are out of it. We are away from it.
there would be many of us here in this group who would can't who would not be able to resist a pizza, who would not be able to resist a burger, a garlic bread, a gulab jamun for that matter, an ice cream, so on and so forth, and I am included. So what happens is what happens is there is a chemical known as dopamine in the brain, and there are pathways which govern our circuitry of likings and circuitry of want. You see, so when we like something, those circuitries are activated, those neural circuits of the brain are activated, and those circuits are found to contain dopamine chemical. Now there is this structure in the brain which is known as nucleus accumbens. Nucleus accumbens has been found to be very very rich in dopamine. So what happens is, suppose me and you go out for a smoke, okay, and we are habitual of going out for a smoke. What happens is, when we smoke together, the nicotine in that cigarette activates the dopamine. So I feel like wanting it more and more. Initially, both the circuits are activated simultaneously. Later on, what happens is the circuitry for liking gets little bit subdued, and the circuitry for want, it gets up. So I keep on wanting more and more, but I keep liking it less and less. So I would want more. I need more to achieve that level of satisfaction. Hence, you see, smokers, they start by smoking one puff, then it comes to one cigarette, and then it comes to 5 cigarettes, 10 cigarettes, and then they are chain smokers. You see, so that is how it happens. It is this addict. This is how the neurology of addiction works, and not only just cigarette, anything, even video games. People are addicted because of that.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's great. Thanks so much to both of you for such a wonderful insight on these topics and the connections within the mind, and that's little invigorating for all of us, I'm sure. So let me uh, go back to our audience, and if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand or drop your question in the chat box. So Rohit has a question to both of you. Need your input on out here. Let me read it out. Nobody knows what goes inside a seemingly happy person. How being a part, how being as a part of society, a person can should help his or her surrounding to overcome such mental issues, or how to identify if a particular person needs support if he doesn't share. Very interesting. I'm sure. I mean,
Oh,
we don't
yes.
get to know who is actually on the other side of story. I mean, like out of us 50, we are not sure that how many are actually on that side who needs that, someone should listen to me,
Mm.
someone to whom I should go. So how to find it out? I
Okay.
don't know. I'm clueless.
Deepika, you want to take it up, or I want
Yeah,
me?
yes. So initially, when I started with this topic and we were discussing about this, I said that you all must say to yourself that you will discuss. It is not a failure not to share. Okay, you should be open to share your things. Definitely, some sort of reflection in the behavior and
क्या
gestures
कर रहे हो तुम लोग?
would make you see that the other person is disturbed. Maybe he would not be that open with his gestures, but somehow you can ask the other person if you see some sort of abnormal behavior. That can be very temporary also. I mean, the person can behave in a different situation, say only for 2 minutes and rest 20 minutes. He's all good and fine with you. But you have to be a good observer of the situation around you. That if someone around you is even disturbed for a minute, you need to be a guidance to that person.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Deepika. If you permit me, Nipun, I'd like to add something.
Yeah, please.
Rohit?
Abhinandan, I'll just come to you, and Amit also has a question, and Amit Arora as well. So yeah,
Okay.
after Ashish, I'll come to you one by one, guys. Thank you so much.
Sure. So, Rohit,
Yeah.
as I said, mental health should be equated with a sense of balance. If you ever see what shall I say, a pendulum or a sinusoidal curve, you see,
Yeah.
uh, something we say that the mechanical waves are made up of crests and troughs. So there is a
Yes.
sinusoidal wave, right? It goes up and it goes down, then again it goes up, and there is a central line. So imagine that central line to be the line of balance. That is how we understand mental balance to be, and that is the condition of mental health is. So there would be times when you would experience happy emotions, so you will be on a high, and there will be times which you will be experiencing unhappy emotions, so you'll be at a low. And this happens with all of us because we are this tide will keep happening, and it is a sign of a normal functioning of the brain that it keeps experiencing positive side as well as the so-called destructive emotion.
Okay.
Now the problem comes when there is delay in bouncing back to the baseline. You see? So suppose I receive some anxious news and I remain in that somber mood, I remain low for a relatively longer duration of time. You see? Or I react more out of proportions to events which instigate some kind of emotional reaction. That is where this return to the baseline, is gets disturbed. Uh, we talk in terms of something known as refractory period. It is like this, that like sometimes when you give too many commands in too short duration of time to your laptop or to your mobile phone, what happens? The mobile phone hangs, or the laptop hangs. See, it is unable to register a new command. The same case happens with our brain. When we are in the grip of an emotion, the next emotion or the next event fails to impact us. So if I'm in the grip of a negative emotion, any other emotion fails to impact me. How long I remain in that grip of emotion is my refractory period. And that is where it needs an intervention. So what Deepika meant when she said that observe people, if you observe people, you'll come to understand that this is an out of proportion reaction, and don't be quick in judging that, because we have a tendency to label people. Understand that there are human factors that come into between.
You're
You
right.
see, the other person may be taking his own time to come up, and we may label him as taking a longer duration. That is a pitfall that all of us should watch out for. But over a period of time, if you are sensitive enough, if you're observant enough, it comes. Unfortunately, even now in our country, the stigma that is associated with mental health is too much. People still feel very hesitant to seek out help. There is nothing wrong. If I have some situation which is overwhelming, it is almost akin as me having fever, which is running for many days. What do? I go and contact our doctor. I mean, God forbid if I develop a cough and some respiratory issue today, I would, run from pillar to post getting hold of any doctor. I don't feel any shame in that. So what if I'm same thing should apply to when I'm feeling some kind of mental pressure, and there are trained people now who are able to who be willing to help you out of that. You see, so
Yeah.
be observant. See, and
Yeah.
there are people. I'll tell you one more thing. Lot many people, they respond when somebody listens to them. That is the greatest what shall I say, the greatest difficulty, the greatest challenge is that people don't listen. We jump in to offer solutions. Not many people would know here. I don't know whether Nipun is also aware of it or not. I come from a medical background. So my initial career was in the field of medicine. I was into independent practice, and I was working in a medical college, and in that medical college also I was departmental in charge human physiology, and I worked with a lot many people who are having this psychiatric disturbances, and I found that counseling, listening to them, has a very therapeutic effect. Okay, so Rohit, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, yes, doctor.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Then
Thanks.
somebody asked that
Yeah.
does meditation help? So friends, it helps immensely without fail. And any type of meditation, if you do, it has a positive calming effect on you. Because what meditation does is it sort of creates a pause for you in that situation. So when you create a pause, what happens? The flurry, that activity, that whirlwind which surrounds you, it is in a pause, and you're able to handle that. It allows you to collect your mental powers, your strength, and handle the situation better. So yes, there is absolutely uh, clear-cut evidence that meditation does help in ensuring balance in emotion
Yeah.
and, of course, mental health.
True. Same here. I mean, like I echo on the same. So let me reach out to Abhinandan. He's next who has raised hand, and then I'll come to you, Amit.
Sure.
Abhinandan, I'm unmuting. Yeah. Thank you so much, Abhinandan. Please, if you can switch on your video as well, and please go ahead.
Uh, Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you so much, Nipun, for bringing two panelists on the board. Uh, Dr. Ashish has been with him. I'm connected with LinkedIn. Lots of informative things coming from his end,
Thank you.
and I'm really love the discussion. The way he started from Veda till from Ayurvedic, homeopathic, and how he has transformed the discussion. It has been really full of insights and knowledge. So thank you
Thank you
so
so
much. And
much.
the other panelist also, the way the different colors impact, complementing the other panelist, Deepika also how to with the positive things and all. One thing I'd like about that her that she says that if we read all this thing, which is in our mind or what we want to achieve, it keeps us reaching the goal. That took me down the memory lane where my father used to put tables from 2 to 20 in front of my where I used to sit and study, and he always has to ask me to please look it. By the time it will go into your mind and you will start believing in it. That yes, you know, the quickly that thing, and later he started putting positive proverbs. So thank you to her also for talking me down. One question I have from the point of view of as a father, and second from the point of view of NHR professional. Both the questions are related to this. See, what we are talking about mental health and everything. This is basically we are talking about there are two things: cause and effect. We are discussing more on cause and effect, both the things. But being a father, my son is 5 year old. I want to understand that today's scenario we are becoming more overprotective. We are not in the joint family, we are into single families. The child is getting all type of attentions, and whatever he does he's getting pampered, or anything he get, it is the he's positive, everything is there for him or her. So there is last but not the least the face of failures and all that. So what happens suddenly, they feel that yes, everything is possible in this world, whatever for example, I'm telling you, if I in the morning, if my son comes to know that I have brushed my teeth first, then he feels sad. Are papa, why you come first? I want to come first. See the small things. So these are the things which might lead him in later stages, which has come to acceptance of failure, and which I want to understand as a parent also, how to start inculcating. Might be we are doing, but might be we are not in a right track. And if we start nurturing our child to accept the failures or accept both, triumph and disaster, imposter the same, we can able to avoid to reach that mental status balance which they are not able to face in the coming scenario. That one question. Correct me if I'm wrong to all the forum.
No, no,
And
perfect.
second, if can I ask the second question, or you like to answer first or then second?
I'd like to take up this question, and then maybe we can move to the second question, so that both questions, retain their identities. Deepika, you'd
Thank
like
you
to
so
answer
much.
that?
Yeah,
Or
so what I feel, nowadays, especially if I talk about mothers, I'll not talk about dads, but if I talk about mothers, they have really become very competitive. मेरा बच्चा डांस में भी जाएगा, मेरा बच्चा म्यूजिक में भी जाएगा, मेरा बच्चा और भी 100 extra curricular activities में भी जाएगा. And since the time has really changed, like the way we used to study, it is entirely different from the time it is right now. Like the students, and if I talk about school kids, they have become a lot competitive. So what I feel, that we even lack in spending good quality time with our kids. It is very important. Once you come back home, you need to dedicate a certain 1 hour to your child, where you really need to ask him, bhai subah se sham tak aaj what did you do. 50% of working professionals, be it males or females, do not dedicate this time specifically to their child. If I talk about mothers, they cook and they ask, "Bhai, kya hua? theek hai, school mein ye hua, mama mera ye hua, see my diary," and it's all done. But I want you guys to specifically dedicate certain time just to your child, where he is open enough to talk to you about things. And even if your child is failing onto something, please encourage. This is not the time जैसे हम मार खा लेते थे, हमें 10 बार भी मार लिया या बहुत गंदा भी पीट दिया, so we used to take it, we used to absorb it. Since the generation has changed, you need to encourage, you need to be a role model, and you need to make sure that you're counseling your child that failure is not the end. So that sort of counseling is definitely needed, and being a parent, you are the best person on this earth to counsel your child, because your child is at the growing phase. आप उन्हें जैसा सिखाएंगे वो वैसा सीखेंगे और उसी direction में move करेंगे. So I certainly feel that counseling and dedicating time to your child would definitely help in this situation.
Abhinandan, there is one thing that I would add, and trust me when I say this, I come from the same background, same situation that you are in. I have a son, although he's grown up, he's going to be 18 after a few months. So you can say that I have a teenage son with me, and there's the only son that I have. the trouble has been that suddenly we find ourselves that were raised in a joint family. We had multiple siblings, and now we are find ourselves in situations wherein we have to raise a single kid, and where both of us are working and we have punishing work schedules. So those challenges will always be there. A single child with the parents who are working has his own advantages and is as a different scenario, because the work pressures are much too much. The timelines of work have extended or sometimes non-existent. The time that you get to spend with the family is limited. So you want, and as a father, you would want to do too much to your son as well. I think one thing that we as parents can do, and the only thing that we as parents have in our hands, is to create a solid value system in our kids. This value system that we create in our kids acts as a compass for them to navigate their lives. It is not about the duration of time, it is about the quality of time that we spend with our children. And parenthood is a responsibility. The moment we become parents, it is a tremendous responsibility which descends on our shoulders, that we have to create a human being which is best in every sphere of life. You see, when we were kids, multiple children, cousins, and brothers and sisters, we learned to share. With single child, this facet is not there. When we share, what happens subconsciously? We learn to control our urges. We learn to sacrifice what we have, and we also learn to somehow adjust to others. These are the things we learn subconsciously. So if we inculcate the same value system in our children, I think that will help them. And one piece of advice that I can give you, Abhinandan, don't be too much serious on this. He's only 5 years old. As he grows up, the more positive vibes you keep giving to him, he will bask in those positive vibes and he'll come out to be a fine person.
Okay,
Thank
sure.
you, both of you. The only like thing, the way you said, it's correct that uh, that sharing has always gives sharing inculcates the pain of sacrifice. First of all,
Yes.
that automatically start everything. And sacrifice, the thing which my wife and me were discussing every time and all that. And even I observe, it's not that a concern, but to be honest, I need to, as you said, being a parent is a great responsibility.
Hmm.
And my father always used to tell me, when you'll become father, you will understand. And I used to say that why you're not doing justice and all that. But since I have become father, every day that dialogue comes to my mind, to be very honest to you,
Indeed.
to be honest. And now it's about how I can make him he should also have the taste of some dejection. It is required, because suddenly certain thing in life comes, it will difficult for him to sustain. It is not that in one day I will make him learn, but slowly I need to understand how, as a parent, what are the things, because now he's a single child, mother is not working, so he's getting all type of time and everything, even I am
It's a
giving.
huge area, Abhinandan. It's a huge area, and already I can see some hands being raised.
Yeah,
So
I
we
mean,
can
I've got
continue this discussion offline, Abhinandan.
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, sure,
Yeah,
sure, sure.
Yeah.
I've got four more things, four more questions. Thanks, Abhinandan. Thanks for the question. So, in the order I'm reaching out to everyone, I have another thing which came out after Abhinandan was from Mr. Amit Arora. Yes, Amit, please take it up from here. Hello. Yeah, we can. If you just say something. Hello, Amit.
Amit Arora there.
Yeah, we can hear you. Please.
या गुड इवनिंग। सबसे पहले तो डॉक्टर साहब का और दीपिका जी का, निपुण जी का, सबका धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगा। और बहुत अच्छी बातें सब सुनने को मिल रही हैं। अभी जो बात चल रही थी, मेन जो हमारा सेशन आज का है माइंड के लिए, हाउ वी कैन काम आवर माइंड, तो एक छोटा सा शेर याद आता है कि नजर बदली तो नजारे बदल गए, और कश्ती का रुख मोड़ा तो किनारे बदल गए। तो इट्स ऑल डिपेंड ऑन आवर माइंड। हम किस क्वेश्चन को किस तरीके से लेते हैं जिंदगी के अंदर, उसको जैसे डॉक्टर साहब आपने बताया, आप उसको बहुत सीरियस लेते हो, सोचते रहते हो, तो ऑरा को क्रिएट कर रहे हो, माइंड को डिस्ट्रैक्ट तो कर ही नहीं रहे वहां से। मैं खुद वास्तु देखता हूँ, एस्ट्रोलॉजी करता हूँ, बॉडी हो रहा पढ़ता हूँ सिंस 16 ईयर्स, और लोगों को देखता हूँ, उन लोगों के क्वेश्चंस इतने टिपिकल लगते हैं, और सेकंड एंड पे ऐसा हमें लगता है बिकॉज हम स्ट्रेंजर हैं, और वो हम लोगों को जब सरेंडर करते हैं अपनी पूरी प्रॉब्लम, तो हमें लगता है ये तो प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है, इसमें प्रॉब्लम तुम ढूंढ कहाँ रहे हो। तो तो दे ये नेचर है। अभी जैसे अभिनंदन जी ने बात कही, बेटे के लिए बात हो रही है, हमारी सराउंडिंग बहुत काम करती है। हमारी जो सराउंडिंग है, हम इंडिविजुअल हाउस में रहते हैं, हम फ्लैट में रहते हैं, हमारा जो सर्कल है, हमारे जो संस्कार हैं, वो जो मिलते हैं, हम उसी तरीके से अपने आप के माइंड को डेवलप करना चाहते हैं। एक पेरेंट हमेशा चाहता है कि उसके बच्चे को हम हाई टू हाई स्कूल के अंदर डालें। अब वो जब यूज टू हो जाता है कि नहीं सर मेरी तो क्लास के अंदर भी एसी है पापा, तो आई वांट एसी इन माय हाउस, गेटिंग मी। तो ये जो चीजें हम स्टार्टिंग में उनको दे रहे हैं, मतलब एक बच्चा पैदा होता है और उसको संस्कृत एटमॉस्फेयर में डाल दिया जाता है, तो ही स्टार्ट स्पीकिंग इन संस्कृत।
जी अमित जी।
तो
अमित जी, एक निवेदन करूंगा आपसे मैं, अगर आप मुझे अनुमति दें तो।
जी जी जी।
बहुत सारे लोगों ने हाथ उठा दिए हैं, तो कुछ
हाँ,
आप
प्लीज
एक सेंटेंस में अगर आप कंक्लूड कर सके तो मैं आभारी होऊंगा।
नहीं, मेरे को आपकी पूरी सारी बातें बहुत अच्छी लगी, बहुत सारी बहुत बढ़िया थी।
थैंक यू सो मच,
थैंक यू,
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। यस प्लीज निपुन जी, अगला सवाल।
Thank you so much. Okay, looks like that person has dropped. Abhinandan, I'll reach out to Abhinandan again in the meantime because Abhinandan want to ask second question.
Okay.
And so Abhinandan, if you can hear me, please unmute yourself and please ask your second question.
Actually, my second question was which has happened last 2 days. Where being in organization due to COVID, lot of roles and responsibilities have been changed, and people have been asked from base office to field also due to need of the hour. So lot of agitation, negativity, lot of rejection, and all I'm facing for last 2 days. Being in HR, all things comes to us.
Yes.
And because they are also correct that they have a family, they cannot move. Organization need is also there. A lot of negativity is started last 2 days, especially those people who are working only on the back end office. They have also asked to go to field. So I'm facing last 2 days these related from HR perspective a lot of challenges in this, because their mindset has become negative and all. They are feeling that because we have to cut down the manpower, so we have found this path to ask them to go to field and help field people, and in this way we'll get COVID and we will automatically leave the organization. That's the question.
This unfortunately has been a typical situation, and HRs are across the firing lines. And all I can say is that at an individual level, please exercise a little bit of empathy uh, in sharing this information and creating this sort of thing. Uh, you know, uh, I'll tell you something. In our exchange, when we talk, we like to believe that conversation or communication is an exchange of ideas, facts, theories, all that stuff. It's nothing like that. Communication is actually the exchange of emotional energy. If you look at it, so when you are understanding that this news can create or has the potential to create negative emotion in the person to whom it is being addressed, if you condition him in such a manner that he'll be able to receive this news for what it is, you'll be successful in delivering this kind of this message. If I have to explain it, it will take a lot of time. But understand the same, and just keep this thought in mind and try to structure your conversation accordingly. That is what being empathetic means. That you should anticipate what kind of reaction he will have. So precondition that person beforehand while delivering this, so that he is in a better mental condition to receive this information which you are sharing with him, so that it does not look like as though the way he's visualizing it. Think of a strategy, and I'll be happy to discuss it offline, maybe sometime later, whenever both of us can find a mutual time. So that's how it is.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
So I would like to add something here. So as he said that you need to condition the situation really well and then present it. So definitely a sandwich approach would help here. We all know that this is a very pandemic situation, a very stressful situation. So always make sure that you are ending the conversation on a good note, on a positive note, because the way you end a conversation really matters. That creates a positive impact. And always make your employees feel that you really care, no matter what. If even if it is a worse situation, you really care for them. This sort of feeling can really help you to create a positive impact and a positive outcome of your conversation.
Wait, Deepika, I have got a question for you. So, Rajesh has asked that can one be
Yeah.
anxious for no apparent reason?
Yes. An overthinker can be. So there are a lot of people who keep overthinking about multiple things at one time. मुझे घर खरीदना है, मुझे गाड़ी खरीदनी है, मेरी नौकरी सही से नहीं चल रही. So when you keep overthinking, it does happen. So that's why I suggest people that you prioritize your goals. You have to prepare a to-do list for yourself कि आपकी सबसे ज़्यादा priority पे कौन सी चीज़ है, and then you work accordingly. And overthinking is something that is very internal. It is not being forced by any external force. Maybe your parent is forcing you for that, or maybe your superior is forcing you for that. Overthinking is all within. So I think in that case, mantras and even meditation can help. So sound vibration definitely helps. As the question was asked, how meditation and mantras are important, sound vibration really plays an important role to let go negative things. And that's where you will be out of all the fears, anxiety, and all the negative thoughts.
Okay, great. Thanks. Thanks for this. And there is one more question which is coming up, which is talking about, can you please elaborate on implementing mental health policy in organization? So Abhishek, sure, I'll be sharing the LinkedIn links of both the panelists. So I'm sure for this question you can reach out to them in person. I'm sure this require a little detailed thing on policy. So yeah, please bear for that time while I email to everyone. And yeah, there's one question being asked by Amrit Sarkar as well. I'm just trying to find the question here. But Amrit, if you can unmute and you can ask your question directly, it would be great.
Hi, Nipun.
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, my question was, as an HR professional, is being conscious about the health, mental health of our employees at the workplace a very critical part of our job and overall the effectiveness of HR? Is it going to be the next important thing? We talk about a lot of wellness. So wellness comes basically, as of now, comes from the physical aspect, but the mental well-being as well, because a state of an employee can be critical to his job.
Of course. Amrit, very well said and very articulated. It's a good question. See, first, one thing that wellness, of course, doesn't encompass only the physical wellness. Wellness encompasses physical, mental, emotional, social, all. So when you are well, it radiates from you. A happy employee, a balanced employee creates balance all around him. On the contrary, a person who is negative, if you would have seen in your workplace, one person who's dissatisfied with one thing, he will keep cribbing about it. He will keep spreading negativity all around. You go to him, he'll keep complaining about something or the other, and that as I said, negativity impacts in a much more profounder manner than positivity. So, as an HR, if you ask me personally, yes, definitely, I believe it is the moral duty of every HR to ensure that this kind of wellness is in place, because it is directly related to the productivity. Happy people, and there is a great deal of, again, I said, there is a great deal of research which is being going on, that how to create happy employees, because happy employees are more productive. This has been proven beyond doubt. So mental health has direct correlation with wellness, and it has direct correlation with productivity, and this is what HR should look out for.
Right.
All right. Thank you so much for this. If anyone would like to share their LinkedIn links on this chat box, they can definitely share it with a short description so that others can join. We are
Nipun,
moving
one
towards.
request I had, I wanted to share a slide with all of the
Please,
participants to be permit. So
please.
So, dear friends, this is. Can you see my?
Yeah.
I'll read this out for you, and it, in a way, captures the essence of today's session. And I can share this with you. This is for you only. I can share it here on the chat box, or I can share it with Nipun with the request to kindly share it with all the participants. This is taken from a book by Louise Hay. It says, in the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete, and yet life is ever changing. There is no beginning and no end, only a constant cycling and recycling of substances and experience. Life is never stuck or static or stale, for each moment is ever new and fresh. I am one with the very power that created me, and this power has given me the power to create my own circumstances. I rejoice in the knowledge that I have the power of my own mind to use in any way I choose. Every moment of life is a new beginning point as we move from the old. This moment is a new beginning point for me right here and right now. All is well in my world.
How positive
Deepika spoke,
affirmation is this?
yes, Deepika spoke about affirmations, dear friends. And with this slide captures the very essence of today's discussion. I'll share this with you, you'll be too happy. You can make it your screensaver, you can make it your wallpaper, you can take a printout and post it at your workstations or at wherever you see, you can have a look at it. And whenever you feel yourself at the downturn of the emotion, or if you are feeling a little low, please recite this small prayer to you with full belief, putting all your emotional energy behind it, and you will wonder to see the positive impact it creates for others.
Sure. Thank you so much, Ashish. This was really fantastic to encapsulate everything in one slide and in fact talk about the positive affirmation which we discussed in this. And yeah, so with this we have reached to our end and right on time. I would say uh, thanks to all audience and to the panelists. Thank you all for joining in today. Thanks to the panelists as well, Dr. Ashish Johri and Ms. Deepika. And thank you all who have participated, listened us patiently, and actively participated via asking a lot of questions on this. My email communication will be covering this slide, the LinkedIn links of the panelists, and also the recorded version link of this particular session. Please share this to all who would definitely like to recall all the learnings which we had from both the panelists, especially the color therapy, the positive affirmation, and yes, the mind regulation and the connect of our mind in terms of managing all these things. So thank you so much, everyone. Glad you all liked it. Please stay
Thank you so
abreast
much.
with coming sessions between us, and I'll be keep posting all these things on regular emails to all. So thank you so much. Thank you again
Thank
to
you.
the panelists.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nipun.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you,
you.
Pradhanya sir.
Thank you, sir,
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nipun, sir. Thank you, Ashish, sir. Thank you, Deepika,
Thank you.
ma'am,
Thank you.
for giving us a mental peace.
Thanks, Rupali. You have
So
been
very kind of you.
great listener to all of us, and we missed asking you a lot of things and missed your insight. But yeah, sure. I'm sure next time there will be a lot of things from your side as well.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Yes, Aisha.
All right, I'm just closing this window now. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.